All right, guys, so today we're shooting from my warehouse from which we ship out the products that we sell at CanadianPreparedness.com, high quality gear, trying to get that stuff out before the supply chains totally collapse, which they're on the brink of doing so. The Postal Service in some states has now been suspended, but I think about 90% of it is still operational, so we're shipping exclusively to North America at this point because international shipping is just a no-no at this point. We're getting stuff sent back because of all the border closures and the travel restrictions and stuff like that. So this is the Mira CM 6M gas mask. If you want one of these, I'll post a link in the description. If you've ordered one from us, stay tuned for the end of the video for an update on that. Your mask is going to be shipping this week, God willing. Now, the economy is going to hell, and the supply chains are getting thinner by the day. There is talk that we are turning a corner and approaching that plateau in some spots. Realistically speaking, with this thing popping up in so many third world countries, second world countries right now, by the time we get it fully contained here, there is going to be reinfection occurring around the world. So it is what it is. We're in for a long, long battle here. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be out of work in the near future, and that is unfortunate. What I would start doing if I was you was try to make a game plan for the new economy that's going to emerge on the other side of this. I'm going to be doing a video in the near future talking about what life is going to be like after this blows over, my predictions of what it might look like. They're just my predictions. Take it for what it's worth. But in terms of food storage, if you can find a bulk food storage place that's still selling food, go and get yourself a big bag of rice, some beans, buy large wholesale foods, first and foremost. It doesn't have to be 25-year shelf life. You know, this may go 2 years, they're saying, but I don't think that necessarily means you need to invest in high-priced MREs and some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about today. In addition to that, we started sprouting some seeds for our smaller garden. I think that you should invest in seeds. There are some survival seed banks that are still being sold over the internet right now. And if you do have access to a hardware store or a grocery store, wherever they might sell seeds, then I would encourage you to pick some of those up. Today, what I'm going to show you is something which is supplemental to your dietary needs. It's something which is highly nutritious. We sell a variety of different freeze-dried foods. To be honest, Mountain House is pretty much all sold out. Not because it's the best one necessarily. It is one of the better ones for sure, but because that's what everybody's familiar with. They have an excellent brand and marketing team, and it's just high quality food. Next up, what we have is Happy Yak, which is probably the cuisine of freeze-dried foods. It's no preservatives, it's all natural. Second to that, we have Backpacker's Pantry and Alpine Air, ones that I also eat. We don't sell anything that we wouldn't ourselves eat. So that's the main thing. We don't sell the big food buckets that seem like a really good deal until you actually go and taste them. There is a higher price point on some of this stuff because freeze-drying is a complicated process. It's not dehydrating. Freeze-drying allows you to have 99% of the nutrients stored in that food and preserved for up to 25 to even 30 years in some cases, as Mountain House has demonstrated in some of their research that they've done. Our luck is going to run out pretty soon here in terms of getting supply from our suppliers. I know Mountain House is out of commission until summer. They're completely sold out. Many companies are completely sold out of freeze-dried foods. So I would say that the time to capitalize on it would be now. I'm not trying to employ the scarcity sales tactic. Like I say, if you can, go and buy those foods that you would get from your local grocery store first. If you have the money, do that first. Make sure your pantry is full of that stuff first. The great thing about this type of food that we have too, if you're worried about being pegged as a hoarder, this stuff is kind of outside of the supply chain, because a lot of it has been, made for a few months already, because it does have such a long shelf life and not many people know about it. It's not something you would typically find in a grocery store that most people are going after in the first place. So it's somewhat outside the just-in-time supply chain. Nonetheless, they still rely on that supply chain for the ingredients to make it. So until the restrictions are lifted and everybody gets back to work, we're not going to have a clear picture of where the economy is actually going to go or what's going to happen next. And quite frankly, there's seems to be brief moments of reprieve with this whole thing where, you know, you'll get a couple days where the numbers seem a little bit more generous and forgiving. And then, of course, the next day there's a new country that springs up and there's a new crisis that springs up somewhere. So right when one country seems to be getting it under control, there's another country where it's becoming out of control. So that's the situation we find ourselves in, is that it's still too early to tell how this is exactly going to play out. But I think a safe bet for you and your family is to presume that this is going to last at least 3 months. At least. Be prepared for 3 months of quarantining and, you know, having to get by. Quite frankly, being on the front lines of distribution of the essential commodities that people need to get through this, I am worried, because I'm worried about the supply end of things, and I'm also worried about the breakdown in the postal system. So right now, it's still alive. So we're working our butts off to do what we can before either we get forcefully shut down or we just don't have any inventory or any way to get it to you. So the main point of today's video is to share with you a new product that I just discovered a couple weeks ago that we brought it in. I actually knew about it for several months, and it's actually made by a guy locally here in the province I live in Saskatchewan. So we're going to talk about that. 25-year shelf life product, very nutrient dense, has everything you need in there, and we currently are still shipping it. This is the Arkopia freeze-dried smoothie. If you want to come in there and get a better shot. So we sell these in 12 packs, 24 packs, and singles. And what they are is real fruit, which is freeze-dried and then ground up to a powder. So there's no preservatives, there's no fillers, additives, no natural or artificial flavoring, artificial covering. It's just straight freeze-dried berries ground up. It's halal, it's vegan, it's kosher, it's paleo, it's all those things, you know, listed off. No fillers, additives, flavoring, coloring, no added sugar, preservatives, gluten-free, nut-free, dairy-free, non-GMO. All it is fruit, which has been put in a tray to be freeze-dried. Once freeze-dried, it's basically ground up into a powder, and that's what you get. You get powdered fruit, essentially. And when you rehydrate it, it rehydrates really nicely. There really isn't anything bad I can say about it, because again, it's just freeze-dried fruit. Like, there's no other ingredients whatsoever. But freeze-drying really allows that fruit to stay edible and nutritious for up to 25 years. All right, so we're gonna try something totally impromptu here. We're gonna be using some frozen yogurt. Just gonna drop that into our Magic Bullet Ninja thingy. And you might be wondering why I'm wearing gloves. I just get used to wearing gloves around the warehouse. And yes, gloves only work if you sanitize them frequently. I'm a little hungrier today, so I'm gonna add one more. If you see these little yogurts in the store and they're on sale and they're almost expired, just buy them and throw them in the freezer. So now what we want to do is we want to add a little bit of water to that, because all of that freeze-dried fruit is going to need water to rehydrate, and there's not going to be enough water in the yogurt itself. Really, you can put as much as you want in there. Got that in there. Let's try this out. Let's see how we did here. I'm just gonna pour it in a cup so you get a sense for the thickness. Man, does that ever look delicious. That's like a Mad Max milkshake right there. Wow, that is pretty damn good. It's got a bit of a strange aftertaste, but you can really taste the bananas in there, but it's got a lot of zing to it as well. Taste the vitamin C. Tastes like a really, really healthy milkshake, because with the yogurt, you're getting your proteins, you're getting some healthy fats, and of course all the nutrients you need. So this is a lot like a booster juice. If you ever had booster juice, but with a lot more fruit than they put in the booster juices. I could see this tasting pretty good with whey protein if you added milk. You'll probably want to put in milk if you're using whey protein, or powdered milk if you're talking about, you know, long-term bunker survival. Now there's 3 flavors. There's the green power, there's the tropical power, and there's the berry power. I would say that the best tasting is probably the berry powder. The most nutritious is probably the green powder because there is a little kick of spinach in there. Now, I don't want people to be afraid of that. I first thought, you know, any green anything doesn't seem too appetizing to me, but I'll tell you the ingredients in this one: banana, pineapple, apple, kiwi, and spinach. So just fruit, really, and it actually tastes delicious. This one mixes the best out of all of them. Berry tastes the best, but you know, banana, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, obviously it's going to taste the best, but it's not going to have such a broad spectrum of nutrients as the green power will have. So in terms of survival, if I had to, you know, pick a few of these to throw in a bug out bag and I could only pick so many, obviously I would mix it up, but I would take more green power than I would berry power. And the tropic power is good. This one is mango, banana, pineapple, peach, and papaya. Tastes as good, I would say, as the berry, but it doesn't mix quite as well. Now, it's not a very noticeable difference. If you throw it in a mixer, you're gonna have no problems. I'm just talking about it takes a little bit longer to mix. For whatever reason, it clumps a little bit more. But what I found with these is that you can do so much. You can mix it with yogurt, you can mix it with crushed ice, cold water, you know, milk. You can mix it with a whey protein to make a protein shake, so you have all of your macronutrients and your micronutrients. So because it's strictly fruit powder, anything you can do with a puree or paste, you can do with this. Now, the way I mix it is a little bit different than the instructions. How I typically do it is I pour the powder in the cup first. I put a little water in just to get it viscous, and then I'll mix it into a thick puree. Now, if you're like applesauce and stuff like that, this is a great thing for kids, great for babies especially. If you put a bit more water in it, it thickens up to be like a milkshake viscosity or a smoothie. And if you put even more water in it, it turns into more of a drink. So more of an energy drink where you get your electrolytes and all your essential nutrients and stuff like that. So really high quality stuff. There's only 200 calories in this, so you're not using this for calories. For calories, you want rice and beans, or you want some of the other Happy Yak meals and stuff like that that we sell. One of the criticisms of juicing is that you're getting all of the liquidous nutrients, but you're not getting the fiber. This actually retains the fiber, so it's going to aid in digestion. And any sugar that's in here is naturally occurring fructose. To me, any sugar which is not refined and comes from nature is good sugar. So I'm not talking about high fructose corn syrup or the refined white sugars. I'm talking about fruit. So because this does have that natural sugar in it, it is going to give you a little bit of an energy boost. Juicing concentrates all those nutrients into one power drink. The same thing happens with this because the bioavailability, that is how easy it is for your body to digest those nutrients in a form that it recognizes, as opposed to like vitamins and minerals that you buy over the counter at a pharmaceutical place. This is what nature intended. This is what your body recognizes. This is the source from which for millions of years our bodies were adapted to extract those nutrients from. So almost immediately it hit me and I fell in love with it, and I'm drinking them every day. So once again, use coupon code SURVIVALPREPPER for 10% off all your freeze-dried food purchases. Unfortunately, right now, we're not offering that discount on personal protective equipment, even though, to be quite honest, I don't have any left. It's been completely sold out. But when we do bring it in, we're not raising our prices and price gouging like some places. And I can tell you that the price that some places were charging for their full-face respirators before this happened, now they've shot their prices up around $80, $90. We haven't done that, but one thing we're not doing is accepting discounts on those items because there still are increased shipping costs, and there's just a lot of headache with the logistics to get that stuff here. Okay, so I want to give you an update. If you ordered a CM6M with us from Mira Safety, we finally got the shipment. You don't know how much of a headache and how frustrating it is. Well, I'm sure you do if you purchase one from us and you've been waiting for it, but I assure you, I've been doing everything I possibly can. Mira has been doing everything they possibly can, but unfortunately, the whole supply chain broke down before we could get that stuff here, and there were border closures and there's government confiscations where they're manufactured in Europe, Czechoslovakia, Russia, stuff like that. So right now, we're looking at getting these sent out this week. There's a UPS shipment to us inbound of a substantial amount of respirators. We're going to get those sent out this week. We don't have the P3 filters yet. So many people ordered the mask with the P3 filters. We're going to send out the masks so you get those immediately, and we'll either send out the P3 filters when they get here, or if you would prefer a refund, we can do that. Or if you just want to refund your whole order, just send us an email at canadianprepper@hotmail.com and we can do that for you. Yes, I don't have a dedicated email for the website yet, which really sucks because I got to sift through all my personal emails with my business ones. But, you know, I'm living a life of chaos right now, being in quarantine, on the borderline SHDF, in a warehouse shipping out emergency preparedness supplies. So anyways, if any of you do want to get your name on the list to purchase a CM6M gas mask, you can go and make your purchase through the company directly. I'll post a link in the description. I would prefer you do that because they're going to get the inventory before I get it. I'm normally a dealer for Mira as well as other companies that we do sell respirators for. I may be getting some more gas masks in from the Mestel company as well as a few other companies. I'll keep you posted on that. Periodically, I get them, and honestly, they sell out almost instantly. That's because we don't raise our prices like a lot of other places do, because I'm actually a prepper, and I know how it is to be a penny-pinching prepper. I was doing that for many, many years before CanadianPreparedness.com came around, so I understand. But these are really good gas masks, full face visor. I've done a review on them before. It comes with a built-in drinking straw, and the P3 filters are really where it's at in terms of viral protection. Filters down to, I believe, 0.01 microns or 0.012 microns. I can't quite remember. Regardless, it's some of the finest filtration you can get, and they're very lightweight also. Now, the thing with this is this takes 40 millimeter threads. So that means you can use this mask with a plethora of different filters. We are going to be getting some more multi-purpose filters in the not so distant future, hopefully within the week here, maybe 2 weeks, we'll say, just to be safe. And those will filter out everything: chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. When it comes to the P3s, like I said, for the P3 filters, we don't have a definite date on those yet. We were supposed to have a shipment. It was intercepted by powers that are well beyond our control, and we're doing our best to get those in. If you do have your name on the list for the P3 filters, rest assured your place in line is secured. Right now, I believe Mira is taking orders which extend out to possibly a 12-week waiting period. But best to get in line while you can. Anyways, guys, let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Canadian Prepper out.
The best way to support this channel is to support yourself by gearing up at CanadianPreparedness.com, your one-stop shop for premium, high-quality, brand-name products that have been tried and tested by myself and other YouTube gear reviewers. My subscribers save 10% off by using the coupon code SURVIVALPREPPER. All one word in all caps.